Om Shri Sai Ram. Sai Satcharitra, Chapter 5. Baba's return with Chand Patel's marriage party, welcome and address as Sai, contact with other saint, his dress and daily routine, the story of the Paduka, wrestling bout with Modin and change in life, turning water into oil, the pseudo Guru Jawahar Ali, returned with Chand Patel's marriage party. As hinted in the last chapter, I shall now describe first how Sai Baba returned to Shirdi after his disappearance. They lived in the Aurangabad district, Nizam state, in a village called Dup. A well to do Mohammedan gentleman by name Chand Patel. While he was making a trip to Aurangabad, he lost his mare. For 2 long months, he made a diligent search but could not get trace of the lost mare. After being disappointed, he returned from Aurangabad with the saddle on his back. After traveling 4 course and a half, he came on the way to the mango tree under the foot of which sat a Ratna. He had a cap on his head, wore kafni, and had a satka under his armpit, and he was preparing to smoke a chlim. On seeing Chand Patel pass by the way, he called out to him and asked him to have a smoke and to rest a little. The fakir asked him about the saddle. Chand Patel replied that it was of his mare which was lost. The queer fellow or a fakir asked him to make a search in the Nala close by. He went and the wonder of wonder, he found out the mare. He thought that this fakir was not an ordinary man but an Avaliya, a great saint. He returned to the fakir with the mare. The chilim was ready for being smoked, but two things were wanting. First, fire to light the pipe, and second, water to wet the chappy piece of cloth through which smoke is drawn up. The fakir took his prong and thrust it forcibly into the ground, and out came a live burning coal, which he put on the pipe. Then he dragged the satka on the ground, from whence water began to ooze. The chappy was wetted with that water, was then wrung out and wrapped around the pipe. Thus, everything being complete, the fakir smoked the chlim and then gave it also to Chand Patel. On seeing all this, Chand Patel was wonderstruck. He requested the fakir to come to his home and accept his hospitality. Next day, he went to the Patel's house and stayed there for some time. The Patel was a village officer of the Doob. His wife's brother's son was to be married and the bride was from Shirdi. So Patel made preparation to start for Shirdi for the marriage. The fakir also accompanied the marriage party. The marriage went off without any hitch. The party returned to Doob, except the fakir alone stayed in the Shirdi and remained there forever. How the fakir got the name Sai. When the marriage party came to Shirdi, it alighted at the foot of a banyan tree in the Bhagat Nahalsapati's field near Khandoba's temple. The carts were loosened in the open courtyard of Khandoba temple, and the members of the party descended one by one, and the fakir also got down. Bhagat Malsapati saw the young fakir getting down and accosted him, Ya Sai, welcome Sai. Other also addressed him as Sai, and thenceforth he became known as Sai Baba. Contact with other saints. Sai Baba began to stay in a deserted masjid. One saint named Devidas was living in Shirdi many years before Baba came there. Baba liked his company. He stayed with him in Maruti temple in the Chavadi and sometime lived alone. Then came another saint by name Chanki Das. Baba spent most of his time in talking with him, or Chankidas went to Baba's residence. So also one Vaishya householder saint from Pundambi by name Gangadhar always frequented Shirdi. When he first saw Sai Baba carrying pitchers of water in both hands for watering the garden, he was amazed and said openly, "Blessed is Shirdi that it got this precious jewel. This man is carrying water today, but he is not an ordinary fellow. As this land, Shirdi was lucky and meritorious. It secured this jewel. So also one famous saint by name Anandanand of Yavala Math, a disciple of Akolkot Maharaj, came to Shirdi with some Shirdi people. When he saw Sai Baba, he said openly, "This is a precious diamond in reality. Though he looks like an ordinary man, he is not a gar or ordinary stone but a diamond. You will realize this in the near future." Saying this, he returned to Yavala. This was said while Sai Baba was a youngster. Baba's dress and daily routine. In his young days, Sai Baba grew hair on his head, never had his head shaved. He dressed like an athlete. When he went to Rahata, 3 miles from Shirdi, he brought with him small plants of marigold, jay, and jew, and after cleaning, he planted and watered them. A devotee by name Vaman Tatya supplied him daily with 2 earthen pitchers. With these, Baba himself used to water the plants. He drew water from the well and carried the pitchers on his shoulder. In the evening, the pitchers were kept at the foot of the neem trees. As soon as they were placed there, they were broken, as they were made of raw earth and not baked. Next day, Tatya supplied 2 fresh pitchers. This course went on for 3 years, and with Sai Baba's toil and labor, they grew a flower garden. On this site at present stands the big mansion Samadhi Mandir of Baba, which is now frequented and used by so many devotees. The story of Paduka, footprints under the neem tree. A devotee of Akalkot Maharaj by name Bhai Krishnaji Ali Bakkar worshipped the photo of Akalkot Maharaj. He once thought of going to Akalkot, Solapur district, taking the darshana of the Paduka's footprint of the Maharaj and offering his sincere worship there. But before he could go there, he got a vision in his dream. Akalkot Maharaj appeared in the vision and said him, "Now Shirdi is my resting place. Go there and offer your worship." So Bai changed his plan and came to Shirdi. Worshipped Baba, stayed there for 6 months and was happy. As a reminiscence of this vision, etc., he prepared the padukas and installed them on an auspicious day of Shravan Shaka, that is 1834, that is in 1912 AD, under the neem tree with due ceremony and formalities conducted by Dada Kelkar and Upasani, where one Dixit Brahmin was appointed for worship and the management was entrusted to devotees Sagun. Complete version of this story. Mr. B.V. Dio, retired Mamaladar of Thana and a great devotee of Sai Baba, made inquiry about this matter with Sagun Meru Nayak and Govind Kamalakar Dikshit, and has published a full version of the Padukas in Sai Lila volume 11 number 1 page number 25. It runs as follows. In 1834 Shaka 1912 AD, one Dr. Ramarao Kotare of Bombay came to Shirdi for Baba's darshana. He compounders and his friend Bhai Krishnaji Alibagar accompanied him. The compounder and Bai became intimate with Sagun Meru Naik and G.K. Dikshit. While discussing things, these persons thought that there must be some memorial of the fact of Sai Baba's first coming to Shirdi and sitting under the holy neem tree. They thought of installing Baba's padukas there and were going to make them of some rough stone. Then Bai's friend, the compounder, suggested that if this matter be made known to his master, Dr. Ramarao Kothari, who would prepare nice paduka for this purpose. All liked the proposal, and Dr. Kothari was informed of it. He came to Shirdi and drew a plan of the paduka. He went to Apasani Maharaj in Khandoba's temple and showed him his plan. The latter made many improvements, drew lotuses, flower, conch disc, man, etc., and suggested that the following sloka verse regarding neem tree greatness and Baba's yogi's power be inscribed. The verse were as follows. Sada Nimbar Vikshaya Mula Divasat Sudasravinam Tiktamipi Apriyam Tam Tarum Kalpa Vrikshaya Dikam Sadayantam Namamishwaram Sadgurum Sainatham. Upasani's suggestions were accepted and carried out. The paduka were made in Bombay and sent to Shirdi with a compounder. Baba said that they should be installed on the Purnima, 15th of Shravan. On that day at 11 am, G.K. Dikshit brought them on his head from Khandoba's temple to the Dwarkamai Masjid in procession. Baba touched the paduka, saying that these are the feet of the Lord, and asked the people to install them under foot of the neem tree. A day before, one Parsi devotee of Bombay named Pasta Shit sent rupees 25 by money order. Baba gave this sum for the installation of the paduka. The total expense of installation came up to rupees 100, out of which rupees 75 were collected by subscriptions. For the first 5 years, G.K. Dikshit worshipped the paduka daily, and then Lakshman Kashwar Jakadi did this. In the first 5 years, Dr. Kothari sent rupees 2 per month for lighting, and he also sent the railing round the paduka. The expense of bringing the railing from the station of Shirdi rupees 7 to 8, presently rupees 7.50 paisa, and roofing was paid by Sagun Meru Naik. Now Jakhari Nana Pusari does the worship, and Sagun Meru Naik offers the Naivedya and lights the evening lamp. Bhai Krishnaji was originally a devotee of Akolkat Maharaj. He had come to Shirdi at the installation of the padukas in Saka 1834. On his way to Akolkat, he wanted to go to Akolkat. After taking the darshana of Baba, he asked Baba's permission for this. Baba said, "Oh, what is there in Akolkat? Why do you go there? The incumbent Maharaj of that place is here myself." Hearing this, Bhai did not go to Akalkat. He came to Shirdi off and on after the installation of paduka. Mr. B.V. Dio concluded that Hemadpant did not know these details. Had he known them, he would not have failed to depict them in his Satcharitra. Resting bout with Mohiddin Tamboli and change in life. To return to other story of Baba, there was a wrestler in Shirdi by name Mohiddin Tamboli. Baba and he did not agree on some item, and both had a fight. In this, Baba was defeated. Thenceforth, Baba changed his dress and mode of living. He donned kafni, wore a langot, and covered his head with a piece of cloth. He took a piece of sackcloth for his seat, sackcloth for his bed, and was content with wearing torn and worn out rags. He always said, "Poverty is better than kingship, far better than lordship. The Lord is always brother of the poor." Gangadhar was also very fond of wrestling. While he was once wrestling, a similar feeling of dispassion came over him, and at the proper time he heard the voice of an adept saying that he should wear out his body playing with God. So he too gave up samarasa and turned towards God realization. He established a mat on the bank of the river near Puntambi and lived there with disciples. Sai Baba did not mix and speak with the people, he only gave answer when he was questioned. By day he always sat under the neem tree, sometimes under the shade of a branch of a bubble tree near the stream at the outskirts of the village. In the afternoon, he used to walk at random and go at times to Nimgaon. There he frequented the house of Bala Sahib Dangale. Baba loved Mr. Bala Sahib. His younger brother, named Nana Sahib, had no son, though he married a second wife. Bala Sahib sent Nana Sahib for taking darshan of Sai Baba, and after some time, with his grace, Nana Sahib got a son. From that time onwards, people began to come in number to see Sai Baba, and his fame began to spread and reach Ahmednagar. From hence, Nana Sahib Chandokar and Kesav Chinnabar and many others began to come to Shirdi. Baba was surrounded by his devotees during day and slept at night in an old and dilapidated masjid. Baba's paraphernalia at this time consisted of a chilim, tobacco, a tumbril, long flowing kafni, a piece of cloth round his head, and a sadka which he always kept with him. The piece of white cloth on the head was twisted like matted hair and flowed down from the left ear on the back. This was not washed for weeks. He wore no shoe nor sandal. A piece of sackcloth was his seat for more of the day. He wore a kupin, and for warding off cold he always sat in front of a duni facing south with his left hand resting on the wooden railing. In that duni he offered as oblation egoism, desire, and all thoughts, and always uttered Allah Malik. God is the sole owner. The masjid in which he sat was only of 2-room dimension, where all devotees come and saw him. After 1912 AD, there was a change. The old masjid was repaired and a pavement was constructed. Before Baba came to live in this masjid, he lived for a long time in the place Takia, where with Gungur, small bell on his leg. Baba danced beautifully, sang with tender love, turning water into oil. Sai Baba was very fond of lights. He used to borrow oil from shopkeepers and keep lamps burning with the whole night in the masjid and temple. This went on for some time. The Banyas, who supplied oil gratis, once met together and decided not to give him oil. When, as usual, Baba went to ask for oil, they all gave him a distinct number. Unperturbed, Baba returned to the masjid and kept the dry wicks in the lamp. The Banyas were watching him with curiosity. Baba took the tumbril tin pot which contained very little few drops of oil, put water into it and drank it and forced it fall in the container. After consecrating the tin pot in this way, he again took water in the tin pot and filled all the lamps with it and lightened them. To the surprise and dismay of the watching Banyas, the lamps began to burn and kept burning the whole night. The Banyas repented and apologized. Baba forgave them and asked them to be more truthful in future. The pseudo Guru Jawahar Ali. 5 years after the wrestling bout mentioned above, one fakir from Ahmednagar by name Jawahar Ali came to Rahata with his disciples and stayed in Bakal, spacious room near Veerabhadra temple. The fakir was learnt, could repeat the whole Quran, and had a sweet tongue. Many religious and devout people of the village came to him and began to respect him. With the help of the people, he started to build a Ida near the Veerabhadra temple. There was some quarrel about this affair, on account of which Jawahar Ali had to leave Rahata. Then he came to Shirdi and lived in the masjid with Baba. People were captured by his sweet talk and he began to call Baba his disciple. Baba did not object and consented to be his chela. Then both Guru and Chela decided to return to Rahata and live there. The Guru teacher never knew his disciple's worth, but the disciple knew the defects of the Guru. Still, he never disrespected him, observing carefully his duty. He even served the master in various ways. They used to come to Shirdi off and on, but their main stay was in Rahata. The loving devotee of Baba in Shirdi did not like that Baba should stay away from them in Rahata. So they went in a deputation to bring Baba back to Shirdi. When they met Baba near the Ida and told the purpose for which they came, Baba said to them that the fakir was an ill-tempered fellow. He would not leave him and that they should better return to Shirdi without him before the fakir returned. While they were thus talking, the fakir turned up and was very angry with them for trying to take away his disciple. There was some discussion and altercation, and it was finally decided that both the Guru and Chella should return to Shirdi. And so they returned and lived in Shirdi. But after a few days, the Guru was tested by Devidas and he was found wanting. 12 years before, Baba arrived in Shirdi with the marriage party. This Devadas, aged about 10 or 11, came to Shirdi and lived in the Maruti temple. Devidas had fine features and brilliant eyes, and he was dispassionate, incarnate, and Janani. Many persons, namely Tatya Kote, Kashinath, and others, regarded him as their guru. They brought Jawahar Ali in his presence, and in the discussion that followed, Jawahar was worsted and fled from Shirdi. He went and stayed in Bijapur and returned after many years to Shirdi and prostrated himself before Sai Baba. The delusion that he was Guru and Sai Baba his Chella was cleared away, and as he repented, Sai Baba treated him with respect. In this case, Sai Baba showed by actual conduct how one should get rid of egoism and do the duty of a disciple to attain the highest end, self-realization. This story is told here according to the version given by Mahalswapati, a great devotee of Baba. In the next chapter, we will be described Ramanavami festival, the masjid, its former condition and later improvement, etc. Bow to Sri Sai, peace to be all. Om Shri Sai Ram.